Please welcome the first ever and only undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.
Let's be realistic here. I'll make sure I'll speak really close into the mic for today's video because I don't want anything I say in this video to be misconstrued. I don't want it to be unclear. I want to be very clear. At the end of this video, there should be no more clarification, elaboration, explanation. Anything else should be needed for the point I'm about to make. I love boxing, and I understand that boxing, as fans, we look really deep into this stuff because I find myself doing that as well. We look really deep into these matchups, and we pull out all these different reasons and points of why this fighter should be able to win or why this fighter could win, and we start pulling stuff from stuff that's not even relevant today. We're pulling out what Terrence Crawford did against Breidis Prescott. Breidis Prescott was in 2013, right? Stuff that's not even relevant, I'm sorry, for this fight coming up, right? And that's the great thing about boxing. We have a lot of film to go off of both of these men. There's a lot of different styles, and if you understand the sport, it could be really fun to do. But I'm gonna kind of burst a lot of you guys' bubble here. Sometimes math is the universal language, right? Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes math is just math, and the equation fits and it applies. Math was my favorite subject in school because math is absolute. If this doesn't equal out, if the equation isn't equal on both sides, then it is not right. There's only one answer to the equation. 1 + 1. Doesn't matter what you put on the other side of that equation, it has to equal 2. Has to. If it doesn't, then it's wrong. When you're looking at Canelo Crawford, the big equation in this fight, 147 does not equal 168. And I'm not saying Crawford can't pull it off, but I'm saying in my eyes, in my mind, it's very unlikely, guys. It is very unlikely. Let's be logical. Let's be realistic. I know there's a lot of Bud fans who out here are going crazy and want to see Bud win for who knows what reason. There's a lot of Canelo fans that think he's going to stop Bud in 30 seconds. I'm going to be the moderator. I'm going to be the man in the middle. I want to bring both parties together. Let's have a legit conversation because a lot of you guys are on the verge of losing a ton of money this weekend, your house, your kids' college, your 401k, and your goddamn wife. So let's be realistic. Let's come together. Let's talk this thing out. At the end of the day, Terrence Crawford is not a 68 pounder. He's a 47 pounder, and he's arguably the best ever. I will not argue that. If Terrence Crawford steps in the ring with anybody at 147, I will always give him a 50% chance to win that fight. Minimum. That is the minimum I would give Terrence Crawford. Right? So if he steps in there with Sugar Ray Leonard, Ray Robinson, Floyd, Pacquiao, Spence, I don't care. The minimum, he's going to be a 50% for anybody. Right? He moves up to 54 to join his 4th weight division and doesn't look great against Madrimov. We got to be honest, guys. He did not look spectacular. He did not look like the guy we've come to know and love. Doesn't mean he looked bad, right? But he did not look like the pound for pound, knockout king at 147. I was not getting those vibes that night. And Madrimov presents a whole different set of issues that Canelo doesn't, and a whole just very unorthodox, very awkward fighter at the end of the day. So you kind of cut him a pass for that. But there were still some things in that fight we could take from. Terrence Crawford and Bomac, they couldn't adjust in that fight. I don't think Bomac could adjust. I think Terrence Crawford kind of had to go in there and rip it out of Madrimov's hand. And also Madrimov, we've come to find out, is not a great fighter late in the fight. He gasses. I was very disappointed in the lack of adjustments that team made. All right. I was very disappointed in the lack of prep they had going into that fight. I feel like they didn't watch any film on Madrimov, and it kind of caught him off guard. Right. So not only did we learn that Team Crawford has a bit of holes in their game, like I said, I cut him the pass because Madrimov really herky jerky, right? But I learned that Bud's power isn't as just groundbreaking as it was at 47. I seen him hit Madrimov with double uppercuts. Madrimov walked through him. So his power is not as devastating at 54 as it was at 47 when he knocked out a guy in Avanesian with one shot practically, right? And so now we're looking at a guy who's going from 47 up to 54, skipping 60 up to 68, and he's not fighting William Skull. He's not fighting Vladimir Shishkin. He's fighting Canelo Alvarez. And yeah, Bud Crawford's like that, man. Bud Crawford is a special fighter. If anybody had to do it, it'd be Terrence Crawford. It would be Terrence Crawford. The athlete this guy is, the boxer this guy is, he's the full package, man. He's a specimen. But at the end of the day, weight classes do exist for a reason. Let's talk about this. Terrence Crawford and Bomac have been on record to say, we are naturally a 68 pounder, but I've made Bud wanted to cut down to 47 and 40 and 54 and 35, all these other weight classes because because we could take advantage of the weight. So basically saying we were weight bullies, right? Which is fine. I don't really believe in the term of weight bully, but he's saying we were weight bullies. We were really supposed to be at 68, but we cut down to 40. I'm not buying it. You can't sell me, I can't say it, sugar honey iced tea. You can't sell me sugar honey iced tea. I'm gonna refuse it every single time, Bomac. You've tried it before. I'm not taking it. Terrence Crawford's not a natural 68 pounder, guys. I'll take a look at it right now. I'm gonna name you guys the top 10 super middleweights. You guys let me know when I name somebody who can make 154, 147, or 140. You guys, can Canelo Alvarez make 154? I'm gonna say this. He said it on record. He can't. Can Christian Mbili, 5'8", can he make 154? Could he make 140? Could he make 147? You guys answer this. What about Diego Pacheco? What about Iglesias? What about Resendiz? What about Caleb Plant? Hamza Shiraz, Bruno Saras, William Skull, Vladimir Shishkin. So out of those 10 names I just named, which one of those fighters can make 140? None of them. He's not a natural 68. Cut it out. I'm saying this so I can save your marriage. I'm here. I'm here to be the person, the voice of reason. So on Saturday, you can keep the house, you can keep the car, you can put your kids through college. I'm not here for Canelo. I'm not here for Terrence Crawford. I'm here for you right now. I'm genuinely here for you. And we have to sit here and swallow the pill. Terrence Crawford's not a 68 pounder because nobody at 168 can make 147 right now. Nobody. Canelo hasn't made 147 since he was 17 years old, right? So now that we got that out the way, Terrence Crawford's not a natural 68, and I know a lot of guys are sizing these two up, right? Canelo is he looks a bit smaller than Bud. Bud looks like he put on the weight great, but Bud should be trying to come in a bit smaller to retain the speed and the timing. He shouldn't be trying to come in bigger than Canelo. All right, that's not a smart idea, but let's be honest here. All right, so they're looking about the same size. We know this. Being the same size as Canelo means you're way smaller than him. If you want to be bigger than Canelo, you got to be bigger than Canelo. I'm not talking about 2 pounds, 2 inches. I'm talking about bigger than Canelo. I'm talking Sergey Kovalev. I'm talking, look at Callum Smith, 6'3", 175 pounds, right? Great contender at 75, right? Canelo bullied him. I'm talking Bivol Kovalev sizes, right? This is a whole new Canelo. This guy is physically imposing on anybody he fights. Terrence Crawford is not bigger than him. And while he physically or visibly looks bigger than Canelo, don't expect him coming in at whatever size he comes in at to be able to back Canelo up and a lot in this fight. Don't expect him to kind of be able to neutralize Canelo will with his own will. Don't expect that. The only way he's going to neutralize Canelo's will and physically imposing style is through just pivots, angles, and overall general boxing ability. It's not going to come through just sheer power. That's not happening. Let's get that off the table. But at the end of the day, when we're looking at logic, when we're looking at reason, and we're looking to make money this weekend, we're looking to keep the kids in college, right? Canelo Alvarez is going to be our bet, guys. It doesn't make sense to put a lot of money on Bud Crawford. He's not even a big enough underdog. There's a really good chance in this fight Terence Crawford goes in there and he gets the absolute snot beaten out of him. That's a very realistic outcome. And although I'll be a bit surprised, I'll sit back and I'll say, wow, that makes sense. 147 pounder tried to fight 168 pounder. That kind of made sense. Don't you think? All right. So, like I said, this weekend, we're all about making money. We're all about being logical. We're all about being reasonable. If you want to put money on Bud, you say, Jerry, I don't care. I want to bet on Bud. That's my guy. I want to lose my money, or I want to, whatever. He's not a big enough underdog to bet on him. He's not. At the end of the day, if there was anybody to dominate anybody in this fight, it'd be Canelo Alvarez. Canelo would be the guy to do it. Okay? If anybody just had to go in there and just absolutely beat the brakes off of one another, it would be Canelo doing it to Crawford. When we talk about Crawford winning, we're talking, he could have moments, he could box smart, he could get his way to a decision. There's never just a case where Terence Crawford goes in there and has his way with Canelo Alvarez. That's just not a potential outcome, in my opinion. Right? When you look at Canelo's career at 68, not only has he become two-time undisputed, he's never lost at 168. Everybody he's fought has been severely bigger than him. He's stopped some of these guys. He's floored some of these guys, right? So it just, when you're looking at Canelo and what he's done at 68, he's the obvious pick. I know it's hard to bet against someone you like, and I know it's hard when the propaganda starts flowing in. There's so many different media news outlets covering Terence Crawford and his team in these interviews and grand arrivals, the weigh-ins and the press conferences. Terence Crawford could sell ocean water to a whale, right? He's really good at selling this fight. I gotta give it to him, because I've been back and forth a bit too. I was like, oh, maybe Terence Crawford, but I'm back on Canelo's side. So he can sell water to a well. He's really good at selling this fight. But at the end of the day, nobody realistically is jumping 2 divisions and beating the best fighter in that division. It's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be extremely hard, especially doing it in just a one clean jump. No tune-up fights, coming off a year layoff at 37 years old. Oh man. And yeah, he's not fighting an Mbili, which I think would probably be worse for him, but he's not fighting a Pacheco. He's fighting Canelo Alvarez. Canelo. Like I said, I'm here to be the voice of reason and the mind of logic. I'm gonna name you guys some guys, and let's have a conversation here. Let's talk about guys jumping 2 divisions. Naoya Inoue, which I believe to be better than Terence Crawford right now. At 122, he goes to 130. Let's say he fights Navarrete. Let's say he fights Lamont Roach. Whoever you believe to be the best at 130. He could do it. 130 is a relatively weak division. I got to be honest with you. But more than likely, I don't know if he beats either one of those guys in just one jump. Let's say there was an elite fighter at 130. Let's say Shakur was still at 130. Let's say Loma was at 130. Tank was at 130. What are the odds of Inoue beating those 3? Let's take a fighter in Teofimo Lopez. Let's say Teofimo Lopez goes from 140, jumps all the way to 54 to fight a Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis. I get it, Teal's not Bud, but also Virgil and Boots aren't Canelo. So I think this analogy is pretty relative, pretty fair. How about we take a Canelo Alvarez to jump the cruiserweight? How does that go for him against Jai Opetaia? How about a Jerron Boots Ennis moving up to fight Canelo at 68? How about Junto Nakatani moving to fight Stephen Fulton or Espinoza at 26? At the end of the day, logic is logic. If it was that easy to do, everybody would be doing it. It's a tall task, and we got to admit that. We got to face that fact at the end of the day. I hope you guys see where I'm coming from. I think Canelo's a great fighter. I think Crawford's a bit better right now, but at 168, I don't know. I don't like it, guys. Really don't. This equation spells disaster. Spells disaster at the end of the day. I'm really interested on how you guys feel about this video. Do you think I'm being too simple-minded here? I've broken down this fight a lot building up to it. I'm deciding to go with a more simple approach in this video. You guys let me know. Am I being too simple-minded? Is there a lot more factors to be in this fight? Or do you think it's just as straightforward as I made it seem? 47 doesn't equal 68. I appreciate all you guys' love and support throughout this fight week and the whole fight month, actually. And I appreciate all the love and support on the last episode of the podcast. Me and Ian are going to be working to bring you that product a lot more frequently. So thank you all, guys.